Affirmations for success. Terms and conditions. Legal notice. The publisher has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this report, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate due to the rapidly changing nature of the Internet. While all attempts have been made to verify information provided in this publication, the publisher assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals in legal, business, accounting, and finance fields. You are encouraged to print this book for easy reading. Table of Contents. Foreword. Chapter 1. The Lowdown on Affirmations. Chapter 2. Why changing your outlook is crucial. Chapter 3. How affirmations are key to altering your behavior. Chapter 4. Setting goals to put into affirmation form. Chapter 5. How to write affirmations correctly. Chapter 6. How to use affirmations correctly. Chapter 7. Why you need to visualize. Chapter 8. Mistakes to avoid with affirmations. Chapter 9. Some positive affirmations you can use. Chapter 10. How success can fall short without affirmations. Wrapping up. Foreword. Loving life with optimism is living with seeing more of the sunny things in life. Positive affirmations as a means of thinking may help an individual look at life from a more colorful view. Optimism is an outlook in life with a view of the world as a positive place. In so doing, a fantastic life makes it worth loving. Research has demonstrated that optimism may greatly affect not only one's way of thinking but likewise his or her way of life. There appears to be a lot closely affiliated with a positive outlook. Thinking in the positive appears to be strongly affiliated to one's self-esteem. Positive thinking appears to help improve a person's psychological and mental well-being. Thinking in the positive appears to help more individuals avoid becoming too affected by stress and by the issues that might come their way. Affirmations for Success: a guide to empowering and motivating yourself to achieve success with daily affirmations. Chapter 1. The Lowdown on Affirmation. Synopsis. The daily practice of affirmations is a good thing to exercise. Affirmations help to build a person up if done with the positive intention of doing so. However, sometimes affirmations can work to give the opposite results. The start point. One way of exercising the technique of affirmation is through the spoken statement. Verbalizing positive statements to describe and relate to a particular theme would be very effective if it is done consistently and continuously. When the affirmation is verbalized, often the subconscious mind absorbs it and produces a positive response. However, too much affirmation where it is really not merited will cause an individual on the receiving end of the affirmation to be overconfident and even egoistical. Using the affirmation technique is a great way to motivate oneself or those around them. When in a desperate or crisis situation, this helpful way of keeping a level and focused mindset is an asset. Unfortunately for most people, affirmation is used more in a negative way than in a positive way. By repeatedly affirming a negative statement both verbally or in the thought process, this affirmation is in effect playing a convincing role and eventually produces the negative outcome it touts. Affirmations embedded in the conscious and the unconscious have the similar workings of a computer system. Meaning the computer can only function on the programs it has been fed. Asking the computer to churn out work it is unfamiliar with simply won't and can't happen. Similarly, if the affirmation fed to the individual over time is in the negative form, then the product of the individual's actions will also lean towards the negative. When the subconscious mind is already programmed to a certain theory or manifesto, then it is unlikely the mind will be able to counter this accepted fact in the mind's eye. Chapter 2. Why changing your outlook is crucial. Synopsis. Everyone has a set of affirmations in their subconscious which has been programmed over the years from either being told or simply forming these affirmations themselves. If the affirmations are of the positive nature, then all is well and good. However, if the affirmations are always of the negative nature, then serious consequences can unfold in an individual's life. Important info. Knowing that affirmations are statements made with specific intentions of making a judgment of sorts, these statements may not always be true. However, using the affirmations to create a positive outcome is still possible and completely acceptable. Sometimes there is a need to change an already long accepted affirmation that is not contributing to the well-being of a situation or person. If the affirmation continues to play an influential role unchecked, then the product of this affirmation will always be as negatively expected. Negative affirmations put into a young mind can, more often than not, affect the individual as an adult. A lot of people going through difficult periods in their lives have no clue as to how to get themselves out of the negative situation because of the long-embedded negative affirmations in their subconscious. Slowly and consciously replacing these negative affirmations with positive ones is one way of gaining back the control of the life's direction. Taking the initiative to start using positive affirmations at every opportunity is a good habit to cultivate. People who are able to always use positive affirmations are happy and popular people indeed. Everyone wants to be in their company and enjoy the positive affirmations they seem to see in everything. Creating a new reality in the mind's eye is also something that can be done with the help of positive affirmation. Constantly feeding the thought process with positive affirming statements helps to build the confidence levels, and this in turn is clearly shown in the individual's demeanor and daily life. Chapter 3. How affirmations are key to altering your behavior. Synopsis. A positive outlook in life is a byproduct of a lot of positive affirmation. The best thing anyone can have to build up and keep strong mentally and physically is a healthy and positive mindset. Therefore, lots of positive affirmation is one way of contributing to this healthy state. Altering actions. Positive affirmations and positive thinking techniques are an unbeatable and powerful combination. Both these elements put together help to build a powerful and positive attitude towards life in general. Armed with this positive mental state, an individual is able to change failure into success, potentially a bad heath scenario into a clean bill of health. Once the desired effect are seen, the affirmation will further encourage taking everything to the next level of success. This affirmation technique is a prerequisite in any training program where the goal is to motivate the participants to empower themselves to make great positive breakthroughs in their respective lives. Some people even attest to the fact that positive affirmation contributes to the sound psychological techniques that create the necessary personal empowerment element that develops the positive attitude towards in general life. This connection with the inner confidence further creates and extends this connection with the universe, thus empowering an even greater force of success and the ultimate positive oneness and mindset. Some specific areas can be addressed with the ability to practice constant positive affirmations daily. These areas include health and healing, where meditation is also encouraged. Abundance, which can be acquired by visualization and affirmation thoughts. The love and romance factor is gained by first practicing unconditional love and self-acceptance. Weight loss and self-esteem issues are addressed by vitalizing oneself with a good physical workout. Peace and harmony, joy and happiness are all possible with the affirmation of conscious forgiveness, gratitude and taking responsibility of one's life. Chapter 4. Setting goals to put into affirmation form. Synopsis. Setting goals in life is a good way to use affirmations. Affirming the goals helps to keep the individual focused so they will see the goal achieved. Using the affirmation technique to condition the mind to achieve the goals set is very beneficial to attaining its completion and success. Accomplishing. While setting goals is an easy thing to do and requires very little thought and energy, seeing them to completion with success attached is another problem altogether. Affirmation, visualization and many other factors help to give the individual the necessary energy and power to create the mindset to achieve the goal. Below are just a few suggestions of possible goals that can use the affirmation technique to achieve its targets. Procrastinating. This is a difficult habit to break and often causes detrimental effects. However, with the use of affirmation to subconsciously suggest the advantages to getting the task done promptly, the individual is slowly able to wean themselves of this habit. Learning to avoid procrastination with positive affirmation will eventually allow the habit to be erased completely. Using affirmation to release the mental fear attached to any situation is also crucial to the success of attaining the goal. When the fear factor is no longer a dominant feature of the thought process, there is no panic and thus the mind is able to concentrate on the goal at hand. Writing down the goal ideas and keeping them in a place where it can be viewed more often affirms the mind to stay focused on the goal and not get distracted with other things. Affirmation helps to positively counter any doubts that may arise along the way to achieving the goal. However, ensuring that the doubts are unfounded is important before dismissing them or subjecting these doubts to positive affirmation. Chapter 5. How to write affirmations correctly. Synopsis. Writing affirmations is not something unusual or new. In fact, it has long been practiced and encouraged by motivational speakers, teachers, and other types of building, self-empowerment promoters. Do it right. There are various methods available for those interested in using affirmation techniques as a way of life. Perhaps the one that comes highly recommended is the style of written affirmations. This particular style of affirmation has very positive and powerful benefits. Here are some keys as to how to write and use affirmations correctly. Write the affirmation using the present tense. When the affirmation is written in the present tense, it creates a pattern in the mindset to identify and agree with the body and the surrounding elements to create the necessary circumstances in the present. This helps to help the individual in executing any actions immediately and not in some distant future, which in turn keeps procrastination at bay. Use the inner voice to agree with the affirmation written. Writing an affirmation that is possibly linked to unreal expectations will not allow the body and mind to work together to achieve the intended goal. The inner voice must be on board with the goal set, and affirmation can help this happen. Keep the written form short and to the point. If the mind is tired or lazy, it is hardly going to read a long and boring affirmation, no matter how well worded it is. Stick to the important points that need to be affirmed. The affirmation must be believable. If there is any doubt linked to the affirmation, then the mind is unable to convince the other parts of the body to work towards the goal. Truly desire the affirmation made. If the desire is powerful, then the affirmation becomes that much more powerful. Therefore, ensure the goal is really and truly what is desired, because positive affirmation will make it come to pass. Chapter 6. How to use affirmations correctly. Synopsis. Having a set of affirmations in life is a good thing to be able to draw on. However, having sound knowledge on how to best use affirmation to the advantage of positivity is a challenge. When the art of affirmation is used wrongly, it is of no value to anyone, or worse, it brings about negative energy. Putting it to work. It is prudent to increase the chances of having complete effectiveness when exercising these affirmations by knowing just how to use them correctly. When designing and using affirmation, always do so in the present tense. If the reference is made to the future, then there is no specific timeline or urgency in the affirmation statement. Using affirmations that have a true ring to it is a correct way to go. Making up affirmations that are impossible and then verbalizing them is simply ridiculous, and the mind cannot be fooled all the time. Expressing emotion and sincerity when making a reference to the affirmation is what builds the passion and hunger to see the goal of the affirmation realized. The mind and the universe will be one in agreement based on the fervency of the affirmation. Sticking firmly to an affirmation is the way to ensure the power and focus remains constant. It also allows for the affirmation to be tracked more clearly. Have a few selected affirmations that are believable. In this way, the brain and body can agree with the affirmation and work together without being confused. Greeting the day with the announcements of the affirmation help the individual remember and keep the affirmation and intended goal alive. Sometimes there is a need to be constantly reminded of the affirmations, therefore writing them on small cards and carrying them around while referring to them occasionally during the day is a good tool. Chapter 7. Why you need to visualize. Synopsis. Visualization is a very powerful tool to use for almost any purpose. In order to give more credibility to an affirmation, visualizing it can bring it to a whole other level of reality. This reality in the mind's eye helps to create a positive energy that centers itself in following the affirmation to its goal's end. See it. However, not to be confused, are the terms daydreaming and visualization techniques the same? While daydreaming does not really spur an individual to achieve a goal, visualization does, especially if coupled with the affirmation element. Seeing something in the mind's eye as real somehow transcends into the physical by means of actually working toward achieving that which was visualized. The subconscious will then be constantly reminding the mind to be alert for ways and means to prove the affirmation true or to bring the affirmation into reality. This will have a physical impact on the body, which will send chemical messages throughout the body to respond accordingly. If the affirmation is associated to a material object, visualizing the ownership of the said object also helps to further strengthen the resolve to achieve the goal behind the affirmation. Many breakthroughs have been made in the healing or medical field by promoting the use of visual affirmation. For the healing process to achieve its highest potential, it's necessary to use as many supportive tools as possible. Therefore, visualizing the complete recovery from the negative medical condition using visual affirmation is encouraged. It also helps the individual to understand the medical problem better and not be afraid of it. In not being afraid and understanding the workings of the disease, positive affirmation over the disease is effective. Visualization allows for some level of control over the success of the affirmation. Chapter 8. Mistakes to avoid with affirmation synopsis. As in everything, there are good and bad points. Affirmation is a great tool to have in the face of adversities that require a positive mindset. However, even the element of affirmation when not used correctly can be useless. Hence, these are some points that should be considered with regard to the affirmation. The errors. Giving up too easily is one of the common reasons why goals are not reached even with the assistance of positive affirmation. Creating a routine of sorts helps to reinforce the affirmation daily and thus cause the lasting effect to build upon itself. The idea is that every time the affirmation is verbalized or used, the resulting mindset and confidence is magnified. Thus, by giving up too early in the race towards the goal, the affirmation does not get the chance to manifest positively. Don't vary the affirmations too much. In fact, it would be a good idea to stick to one affirmation until the desired results start to take shape. The danger in having too many different affirmations is that the mind becomes confused and cannot concentrate on the various affirmations, and thus no real breakthroughs are experienced. Devoting one affirmation to one project at a time is very wise. The ability to focus the attention on the affirmation is also another crucial point to follow. When this is not done, the mind cannot focus on the goal properly, and so no real results are forthcoming. Lack of regular focused attention on the affirmation translates to the mind being unable to manifest any positive projections for the brain to process. If one is able to make a conscious effort to avoid making all the above mistakes, then perhaps there is a very good possibility in being able to attain success in using the affirmations to bring about positive results. Chapter 9. Some positive affirmations you can use. Synopsis. Sometimes, if not most times, people need positive affirmation to help them along life's winding paths. These affirmations keep the individual focused on the end goal and provide the necessary tools to persevere. Some suggestions. Below are some of the various positive affirmations that anyone can adopt into their daily lives for that extra boost in the right direction. Being positive about asking and getting everything asked for helps to build the confidence in the art of affirmation itself. This is further strengthened when there are signs of positive results. Being confident that whatever is received is more than enough and even in abundance causes the individual to prepare positively in terms of expectations. Visualizing an overflowing and healthy bank account is without doubt the most welcomed and desired outcome. The affirmation that every endeavor ventured brings abundant positive results helps to give rise to the level of commitment given to success. Constantly affirming being on the receiving end of good things is a great motivator and attraction, as this gives those around us a sense of success too. Looking upon oneself as a totally successful person does affect both the body and mind. With this mindset, people think, act and carry themselves differently and with a positive manner surrounding them. Affirming the fact that every venture ends in total and unlimited success not only draws a higher level of confidence, it also draws powerful people into the immediate circle. Success comes effortlessly is the ultimate affirmation to have total trust in. One of the more delightful affirmations to have. The mindset that believes in being a magnet of like-minded positive people opens up opportunities that would otherwise not exist. Having the effect of being contagious when it comes to success, is primarily why most successful people stick together. Affirm the love for the particular chosen path. People who love what they are doing are happy people indeed, and everyone likes to be around happy people. Chapter 10. How Success Can Fall Short Without Affirmation. Synopsis. Having affirmations to assist in attaining a goal is very helpful. However, even with the affirmations in place, sometimes the goal never gets to its desired point. There are many possible reasons for this. What you ought to know. Turning down offers even though the offers are very lucrative is one way of falling short of the goal set. When there is no affirmation firmly in place in and around the situation or individual, opportunities can be missed simply because they seem overwhelming. Being able to exceed all expectations can only be done if there is the presence of affirmation. The affirmation provides the much-needed push to achieve more than anticipated, thus without this only mediocre standards and results may ensue. Stopping to savor each and every progress noted whether big or small is pivotal in keeping the affirmation beneficial. In realizing and acknowledging the progress the affirmation achieves helps strengthen itself to a different and more powerful level, and without this boost of confidence things may wane. Passion is an element that keeps most things alive and constantly reaching for new heights. Without the affirmation to keep the passion alive, success may be elusive and unattainable. Thank you for watching my video.